welcome everyone to What an Impact, the official podcast of Facebook.com/groups/TNA, where the big boys play. This is episode number 2, recorded live on August 30th, 2012, directly after this week's Impact. Tonight's conversation has been brought to you by FTW Podcast. FTW is the most interactive TNA and WWE discussion on the internet today. Join the discussion each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m., as well as next Thursday here on FTWLive.com as they preview TNA and No Surrender. My name is Garvin, and with me is out on bond Steve Gallan. Say hello, Steve.
Hey, what's going on?
And you too can join the conversation by adding the FTW Podcast on Skype or by posting your thoughts in the live chat here at FTWLive.com. Again, add the FTW Podcast on Skype, and we'll add you into the discussion so you can let your voices be heard. For the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to run down tonight's Impact. A lot of stuff happened. We're also going to be talking about the TV title picture now that, theoretically Devon is gone. We'll also look at the future with Bully Ray, what they're going to do with him. And again, we want you to be a part of that conversation, so add us on Skype, the FTW Podcast, or you can just join us in the live chat like quite a few of you are. We got Nick, we got Aaron. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah,
now,
thanks.
Tonight's Impact. Steve.
Okay.
What an impact. I mean, by far, I think it was steps above last week. They are really turning the corner, but do you think that they are now selling No Surrender? Or do you think we're still building something else?
Well, I think they gave...
Sounds like we lost you again, Steve. Steve is having some internet issues. Hopefully he can come back soon. Steve, I'm not hearing you. But yeah, tonight we built up some No Surrender matches. Obviously, the Bound for Glory series was put on. We got down to our last 5. It sounds like Steve is back.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve, No Surrender. Do you think that they're building this up properly, or do you think that they still need to push a lot more next week?
Yeah, they're going to have to push a lot more. But I think they've been doing they did a better job this week than last week building up No Surrender and emphasizing that, the Bound for Glory series, the top 5, they had the fireworks and all that good stuff. They did pretty well tonight, gotta say.
Yeah, now, we're going to run through the entire card, but before Impact, we should note, again, the future of Devon Dudley, the TNA TV champion. It sounds like he's out. Bully Ray, many are rumoring that he might be out too, but he's up there in the Bound for Glory series. So, speaking of Bully Ray, he was on Explosion yesterday. He defeated AJ Styles in the BFG series, which basically put him in that top 5. So going into tonight, he was already there, and that continued with tonight. With even though AJ lost again tonight, but again, we'll get to that. So it is weird what they're doing with Bully Ray. Hopefully he sticks around. I mean, obviously he's going to stick around for Bound for Glory, but that is definitely a weird situation.
Well, it also builds to excitement, so it makes you want to watch Bound for Glory to see what's going to happen. But I think what I'm thinking is that they offered Bully Ray a bigger contract and Devon not so much. And I think that's why Devon just turned around and left, instantly. So,
yeah, but rightfully so. But we'll get into that. All right, let's run down the card. Tonight's Impact started off with an AJ versus Claire. That whole video package, they basically recapped what we saw last week. They also recapped the whole Aces and Eights, how last week ended. Austin Aries came down to the ring, went through his whole segment where he did say he was injured. He's not cleared to wrestle, but he wants a fight. He calls out Aces and Eights. Hogan and Sting come out, basically say that they're going to back him up. So no matter what he wants, if he wants a fight, they're there to support him, which is all cool. It's good to see Hogan in that role, in that supportive role, and they actually did make a reference that Hogan is the GM and Sting was the GM, in his place, which really hasn't been talked about the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it looks like they're working together.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah. Also, ODB and EY, they had another video package, and at that time we still didn't know what was going on. But regardless, opening contest, James Storm versus RVD. Was it just me, or was that like one of the best matches that both of those guys have put on in the last few weeks, at least?
Yeah, I felt like that because it was, James Storm was fighting someone other than, Bobby Roode or, and it was with RVD, and he looked on point tonight. It was very refreshing and went both ways. I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely refreshing because you look at RVD and he's been pretty awful for the last few months at least. James Storm has been kind of wishy-washy, but they were definitely. I mean, the emotion was there, the energy was there. They told a fantastic story, and it was good to see. It was good to see James Storm pick up a win there. It almost felt like it was out of nowhere because RVD was fighting so hard to try and stay involved in that match. But yeah, definitely great opening contest. Really opened the show the way they needed it to.
Yeah, good start.
Also, after that match, we saw Madison Rayne. She basically came out, demanded her title shot. She never got a title rematch after she lost the title. Didn't get it. Instead, ODB comes out, and that's someone that we talked about last week. We wanted to finally find out what's going on between ODB and EY and get that over with so that we can finally see ODB and EY back in the ring. We got half of it. ODB defeats Madison Rayne in 10 seconds? It was like a super short squash match. So, Steve, my question to you is, what does this mean for Madison Rayne to get squashed like that?
I think they just wanted to do like a fan favorite thing tonight, but I still think she's going to be in the mix. She'll get a rematch maybe in a week or two, maybe after the pay-per-view just to bring it back up, like here you go. But I think they want to push ODB and EY again. And I think they want to make them drop the mixed tag titles and just give ODB the women's title. Because right now, Brooke Tessmacher and Tara, I mean, ODB would be more of a legitimate non-diva champion. And I think that would be good. Good direction.
Yeah, and the live chat definitely wants to see ODB get that shot. I would love to see ODB get the shot. But to say that they would take off the tag team titles the mixed tag team titles off of them might be a little premature yet, because now we have an opening in the TV title, and who was, probably the most popular TV champion? EY. So I think there's definitely a lot of singles opportunities there for them. Maybe that, they do drop the title. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, obviously.
Well, they're going to have Eric Young on TV for the next couple of weeks to try to ride off the popularity. Like, say someone just, found out Eric Young from his show. So, they'll tune in to Impact to see what he does in wrestling. So, he's going to be on TV and get a little push at least.
Yeah, and now that he has, now that he's a TV star, I mean, that puts him in a direct storyline opportunity for the TV championship. Nick in the live chat saying that EY would be his choice for TV champ. I completely agree. I think the same thing. But we did see EY come back. He did return in the ring wearing a suit, no less. He brought the beer. He brought the fried chicken. Basically gave ODB everything she wanted. But he was different. Obviously he has a suit on. So what do? He strips. Come on, Steve. How turned on were you?
No. Yeah, it's just hilarious. I don't take it that way, of course. It was good.
So, yeah, obviously, you got to think ODB is going to be pushed right into the Knockouts the Knockouts Championship race. Obviously, she was there with Taryn. So, and getting a big win over someone like Madison Rayne, I mean, that to me pretty much guarantees that she's going to get a shot, or at least get another opportunity to earn a shot. So, also saw another AJ versus Claire. I'm not versus, but the AJ Claire saga. We got another video package of that. We got a preview of Gut Check, and
little fillers. I guess the next important thing would be, the Kaz and Daniels talking with Hogan and Sting.
Right. That was a quality segment, I thought.
Yeah. It showed, like, they're legends, and Kaz and Daniels knows it, but then Hogan and Sting put over Kaz and Daniels as the heel. So, yeah, no, it turned out pretty well, It was a short segment as well, too.
Yeah, and I thought Hogan came off really strong. When he came out in the opening segment, I really wasn't feeling it. I was more feeling Austin Aries, but this backstage segment, I think Hogan was spot on, and obviously, Daniels is always spot on with his mic work. With
that, yeah, dropping the Appletini, he totally sold that little push that he gave him, and I thought it was hilarious. Hogan and Sting together, it's kind of reminded me of, like, just they're like best buddies, kind of like Kurt Angle and Stone Cold back in the WWF days. So they might, bring us some comedy relief right here while they're being serious. If they can pull out the right balance, that would be pretty cool.
Up next was what I think was the match of the night: Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Great back and forth between the two. They were both going for those submissions. Obviously, AJ had to score a submission to continue on. But Samoa Joe wins. Do you agree? Was that the match of the night for you?
Actually, my match of the night would be the next match. But this was a really good match. Like, I haven't seen it in a while, so it was kind of refreshing. And AJ going for the armbar and trying to get the submission. It went pretty well. But, Samoa Joe is on a hot streak, so it was good to see him win.
Yeah, and the crowd was definitely chanting louder for Samoa Joe than they were for AJ Styles, which is, a change. Usually it's the other way around, it seems.
Yeah. Joe is gonna kill you.
Yeah, so the crowd was definitely behind Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe picks up the win, so he continues to move forward in the Bound for Glory series. The one thing that I was expecting that never happened was them to continue the whole Samoa Joe and Magnus thing. I totally figured that we'd see Magnus involved in some capacity.
Yeah, and they just showed that small package of him. Oh, this is what happened, a week ago or 2 weeks ago? And, yeah, that's it. And then they dropped it.
All right, and the main event. Okay, this was your match of the night. Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle. Winner goes to, basically qualifies to next week for the Bound for Glory series. Loser is eliminated altogether. Hardy wins. Are you surprised at all that they went with Hardy instead of Angle?
Somewhat, because Angle, coming up the Olympics, he's the Olympic champion, in wrestling, and he looked really strong. Like, he was in shape. He was in better shape than earlier this year. Like, he got real frail and skinny, and it looked like he was, training to get back into the main event spot. And they went with Hardy, which I think they went with him because to try to give him like a pat on the back, tell him like, we didn't forget about you. We're still going to give you your little push. I don't think he's going to win the whole Bound for Glory series though. So either way, both of them weren't going to win the whole thing. So,
yeah, I can follow that logic. And Kyler in the live chat, he's also in the Facebook group, has been saying all week that, Angle has that part-time contract. They probably didn't want to put him in that situation, despite him basically lobbying for it on Twitter. So they went with Hardy. I still think it's strange. I'd rather see Kurt Angle in there. I'm surprised that TNA went with Hardy instead. But we don't really know what that part-time contract is. Maybe he's going to be taking time off upcoming. Who knows?
Yeah, probably over the winter. Somewhat come back in the spring and then work his way back up to Bound for Glory.
All right. We did have one other segment in here that I skipped over, and I didn't do it purposely, but I probably should have, and that was the gut check segment. Chris Louis got rejected. Obviously, no one is surprised.
Denied.
Yeah. They didn't even give him a chance to fight for it, as far as like they didn't give him any mic time like they've given everyone else. First Taz says no. Then Bruce Pritchard basically said, you need to stop wrestling because you were that bad.
Yeah, it's kind of horrible. A douchebag move.
Yeah.
And they had the wife and kid in the stands, and I swore like they didn't mic her up, but she said like, why'd they bring me here?
Yeah, it was definitely awkward. Gotta be embarrassing for the dude. But again, he was awful. I think that was enough for them to know that no matter what time they give him, he's not gonna do well. So
it's gonna take too long. He won't. Nothing. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone's right.
From the live chat, I wouldn't have thought it'd be Pritchard that would do that. Also, Pritchard, that match was bad, and you should feel bad. I completely agree. There's nothing more to be said, really, about it, because right after that, as the three judges are leaving the ring, we see Joey Ryan on a blowhorn, basically taking Al Snow to task, being a stooge for the company. How gut check is a farce, sort of thing. So obviously it seems like they're maybe trying to push a Al Snow versus Joey Ryan feud.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening maybe at like a Bound for Glory where they could have, a match for a contract, or even next month during like the open fight night?
Perhaps, like you said at first, maybe at Bound for Glory it'll be one of the opening matches, and see that's why they weren't promoting matches, for No Surrender, because they're still trying to just build up for Bound for Glory. I think No Surrender is going to be kind of a throwaway pay-per-view almost, but with some quality wrestling. But I think Al Snow versus Joey Ryan for the contract, and if Al Snow loses, then he won't be able to do gut check anymore. They'll add another stipulation. But it's working real well. I like that. I was hoping for it. I even wrote it on the board that I hope Joey Ryan comes out because he's hilarious. It reminds me of Raven in a way. I don't know why. If he wasn't so flamboyant.
Yeah,
he should get his flock. Start a flock up.
Well, that's what a lot of people were trying, hoping for, that Joey Ryan would maybe gather up the other people from Gut Check, or even be a part of the Aces and Eights. I just don't see it like either of those scenarios. But if they are building up like an Al Snow versus Joey Ryan feud, it's a really slow build. I mean, this is once a week on the Gut Check decision. Or, I'm sorry, once a month during the Gut Check decision segment. That's it. That's the only time we see Joey Ryan on TV. Which is just kind of weird. It's kind of weird that they're going this route with it. I like it, but it's just weird.
It's always a surprise. Joey Ryan comes out, and I like how he splashed the water in his face. The guy was like standing right next to him, bright yellow cup.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. Obviously, I don't know. We don't really know what's going on, but I think that's a quality move. It's definitely storyline now. I mean, it's like we can't keep sitting here thinking that Joey Ryan is just showing up and somehow getting on TV. This is definitely a part of whatever story they're building, which is just fantastic. I think so. From the live chat, they really want to see Joey Ryan get put in the Taz mission.
I've seen that. That would be great. I'm sure he would sell it well too. He's awesome. 87%.
Yeah, by far, I still I still will say that he was the best person on Gut Check so far.
Yeah, and I was thinking just in my head, because there's rumors when Gut Check first started that John Morrison was going to come and he was going to have this storyline. I'm thinking they might have went with Joey Ryan because he didn't accept it, and this was the storyline, John Morrison was supposed to be in.
Oh.
Which,
I hope that's not. I hope that's not true.
Right.
I think that would be an awful way to take advantage of John Morrison, especially with the name that he has.
Yeah, he was more of a superstar, but had me thinking about it.
Nick in the live chat pointing out Sam Shaw. Yeah, Sam Shaw did do pretty well, but again, Joey Ryan, I think by far has been the best. To end off Impact, Austin Aries comes back down to the ring. He calls out Aces and Eights again. Hogan, Sting come out. They're followed by basically the roster. Hogan gets back on the mic, says that they're supporting Austin Aries. If he wants to fight, they're going to let him have it. They all call out Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights come out, and it's basically the top TNA guy versus the top Aces and Eights guy, and they basically fight for maybe a minute, and then it just turns into an all-out brawl. Austin Aries ends up getting taken out, basically knocked out, and it just seemed to end kind of awkwardly, I thought.
Yeah, it did. But it got the point across. It was cool. I wish they fought a little longer. But they showed the concern, like TNA is concerned. They aren't the best of the best. They don't know who these people are. That's how it ended,
Yeah, it's definitely strange that 2 weeks in a row, we've seen Aces and Eights get the better of TNA in general. You would think that at some point TNA would get the better of, outside of that opening segment that one segment from last week where they unmasked that one dude. That doesn't count. They're taking out Austin Aries 2 weeks in a row. That's huge.
Yeah, it is, but I'm thinking.
All right, and I think we have lost Steve again. I'm not sure what's going on. He has had some internet issues, so I definitely want to make some shout-outs right now. We've got Nick, El Joker, Diva Jill in the live chat, Aaron Beck, Kyler. Also want to shout out to everyone who is in the Facebook group. Again, you can find the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/TNA, where the big boys play. Such a great reaction thread that we had tonight. Basically talking about Impact, reacting to everything happening. So many differing opinions, and it's just nice to have those types of conversations, especially on the internet, when the internet is very, it's known for being anti-TNA. I'm glad, we have a group together that can actually enjoy TNA.
Yeah, that's true. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm here. Okay. Yeah, that's why I originally made the group. Too much of these groups that say that they're all wrestling groups, that they talk about WWE, TNA, but they sit there and back.
All right, we lost Steve again. BFG series, they basically announced the final five. James Storm is the official leader. He's got first place. So for No Surrender, he can basically choose who his first match is going to be against. Next week, we're going to eliminate someone. So right now we have RVD, Samoa Joe, Bully Ray, and Jeff Hardy. It's going to be there's going to be two matches going to decide who moves on in the Bound for Glory series and at No Surrender. Steve, you're back. Is there any names from that list, RVD, Samoa Joe, James Storm, Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, that you are surprised about?
Surprised? Well, Bully Ray, I found out yesterday he'd be AJ Styles, and I thought after the news I heard about Devon that they were going to keep him out of the top four, and it was it. So that was a big surprise. I wasn't surprised Storm stayed number one. It was kind of lame. He was number one maybe the whole time minus 2 weeks when Joe had it. Jeff Hardy. Yeah, no, they're all big names.
Yeah, none of those names really jump out at me either. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan, so I would rather him not be in there. The same thing goes with RVD. RVD is just inconsistent, at least for me. So,
no, lately he has. I agree with you. But tonight he showed up. I guess he shows up when he wants to.
Right. And that's the problem. He should be showing up all the time. So, all right. So, No Surrender. Well, before we get to No Surrender, again, you can add us on Skype. The FTW Podcast will bring you into the conversation. Thus far, no one has done so. So, calling you guys out. If you guys want to be a part of the conversation, add the FTW Podcast on Skype. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. This is going fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so No Surrender card. Again, September 9th, which is, we have one more Impact, the go home show. We know basically two matches. Three matches basically, and that is the two qualifiers for the BFG series, and then the finals of the BFG series. That's all that's booked. So that's three matches. Generally speaking, your pay-per-view cards have 7 to 8 matches. A lot of guys who would normally get a pay-per-view match out of nowhere probably won't have that time, just because we have 3 matches already taken up by 5 guys, or 4 guys rather. So. Yeah, they still haven't booked anything else, but it's looking more and more like we're going to see maybe an Austin Aries versus someone from the Aces and Eights, just to keep that moving.
Yeah, I think so, and also maybe a tag team title match. I think they're kind of hinting that. I'm not sure if we're going to have a tag team title match next week on Impact, but Hogan and Sting mentioned something about it, so they didn't forget about it.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because AJ and Angle are both knocked out of the BFG series, which means they could tag team up again to face Daniels and Kaz, because they never really had that rematch to get those titles back. So that could be a match that we might see. That would be an excellent match to add to the card, I think.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I'm sure they would show up, add a stipulation, make it a tables match, hardcore. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to continue to push AJ versus Daniels. They were very clear that that's the direction they were going to go in. Speaking of No Surrender, next Thursday at this time, instead of Steve and I, it's going to be the guys from FTW. So Rob, Lee, Harrison, and Joe. They're going to run down what happened on Impact that night, and also build up No Surrender. It should be a great pay-per-view, I think, because they're building up so much towards Bound for Glory. Obviously, that's the end goal. So you can't have a lot of focus on No Surrender, but still, I think what they're doing with No Surrender right now is okay.
Yeah, it's a build-up card for Bound for Glory. And we're going to see, we're not going to get a lot of build-up for this pay-per-view, but a week after this pay-per-view, you're going to feel like Bound for Glory is hyped up.
Yeah.
To the max. You're going to wait for it. And last year, I loved it. Bound for Glory really, with Hogan and Sting, that's what I remember. Pretty good, so.
Yeah.
Couple months of wrestling that are going to be good for Impact.
Anything else that happened on Impact that you want to talk about? Like, what was your win of the night?
I gotta say that we found out the top 5. More Hogan and Sting. Hollywood Hogan. It was a pretty good show. I'll give it like 8.7. We saw a lot of packages though, but we saw really quality matches. I couldn't say a match of the night because they're all like awesome. Could have been on any pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the matches were quality outside of the ODB versus Madison ring. That was, obviously it was a squash match. It really didn't do a whole lot for that division. It just reintroduced ODB and EY in the ring, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my win definitely goes to Samoa Joe's match. I thought, him and AJ did a fantastic job. And really, I might even extend that to the RVD versus James Storm match. It was, they were definitely into it. There was so much emotion, and they both told a great story. I just wish our RVD was consistent.
Yeah, if he did this every week, again, like he did back when, yeah. He's kind of subpar right now. I think he's on cruise control. He's not even really trying. He's getting about 80% instead of 100.
Yeah. All right, so let's go quickly and run down the news. The news that we found out this week, Devon announced on Twitter that, he didn't necessarily say I'm gone from TNA, but he basically told TNA, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to the TNA fans. I'm glad to finally have gotten that opportunity. What that tells everyone is basically Devon's out. What do you think that means to the, to the TV championship? Do you think that they'll just drop it? Because, obviously Devon, from what I can tell, he's not going to, he's not going to wrestle again for TNA. So do they just strip him of the title, or do they what?
What I think is I would love to see a TV title tournament right after Bound for Glory, starting right after. Have 8 guys, King of the Ring style, playoff, winner go home, winner gets a TV title. It would add credibility to the title. The title would be on TV. I think that would be great. But I don't think they're going to let Devon drop his title. I don't think he's going to want to. Because if it wasn't for money, obviously, I think is the problem, then he would still be wrestling. He would still be champion.
Yeah, and you had said earlier tonight that, maybe Bully Ray got offered a larger contract than Devon, and Devon was probably angry about that. But rightfully so, because, you have Bully Ray. He's the top heel in the company. Yeah. Everyone just raves about him, both in-ring and on the mic. He's been quality. Devon really hasn't been. I mean, we cheer him. He's looked in great shape, but, Devon was never like a top guy.
Yeah, not in TNA. So, by himself, they stuck him with Garrett, and I think he was mad because he's like, I'm trying to put over your talent. He's just trying to get popular. I should be getting the respect and the money just like him. I'm doing the same role.
Yeah, and Devon in that role, though, I mean, that's a good role for him to help build the younger talent. And that's kind of what Bully Ray has done, except for Bully Ray has just done a much better job at it. So even with the TV title, Devon is kind of fell flat, for most people. Obviously, yes, he's looked much better. He trimmed himself up. He's done quality matches, but he's just not getting over as much as he should be, really. But storyline idea that I have is maybe they strip Devon, in a couple weeks. So maybe after No Surrender, maybe they even wait till after Bound for Glory. Right. And they basically say, because Devon refused to wrestle and defend the TV title every week like he was supposed to, we've stripped him of the championship. Now we're going to bring it back, put it on, put it up for a tournament, or, give 2 top guys a chance to win a title, and then do what they were supposed to do and have the TV title defended every week.
Yeah, I think TNA should explain that once the Bound for Glory series started, that the TV title doesn't get defended every week. So I heard a lot of complaints on the board. I thought it was supposed to be week, there's not time for it. You got this huge tournament, and the tournament's awesome.
You're breaking up, Steve. Not sure what's going on. I see you said you're in a storm. You're breaking up.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite hearing you. But yeah, I mean, people have complained about Devon, and yeah, maybe that's Devon's fault. Maybe that's TNA's fault. Just for not, handling that whole situation properly. And really, you look at how they started to treat the TV title. They even made it clear that the Bound for Glory series took precedence over the TV title, despite them just starting that storyline. So, anyways, I'm just trying to read the live chat. People are asking, where is Chavo? Kyler, I completely agree. I have no idea where Chavo is. I have him in the Impact-only draft that we have on the Impact Facebook group, and I'm starting to think I should trade him because it's like they brought him on real quick, and now he's lost he's lost that time. But maybe they look past Kurt Angle and AJ Styles at No Surrender and give a tag team championship spot to Hernandez and Chavo. That would also be a fantastic match to have on the show. Maybe even a triple threat match for those tag titles. Steve, are you there?
I think so.
Okay, so your thoughts on where Chavo is, what to do with him, maybe adding him to that title race.
That is the question. I thought he would have been around, maybe throw in an X Division match. We didn't get an X Division match tonight. They might get him in line, just like you said, but it might be a three-way, maybe ladder match for the tag team title, something really exciting like that. That would put No Surrender up, with the potential of stealing the show. Because Hernandez can fly and kind of, Supermax. Yeah. He'll jump off the ladder. You'll know he'll do it. So I think it would lead up to, Hernandez Chavo versus, I'm going to say AJ Styles and Kurt Angle versus Daniels and Kaz. There you go.
Yeah, maybe
that would be cool.
Maybe even make it a four-way and throw Gunner and Kid Cash in there. That would also be pretty stellar. And that would take care of basically 8 guys that would normally not be on the pay-per-view because of the Bound for Glory series. So yeah, well, okay. Nick Alexander is saying no fatal 4 with RVD and Hardy, but they can't necessarily do that because one of them is going to be in that Bound for Glory series, maybe both of them. So RVD and Hardy, that could be a good tag team, but not for this pay-per-view.
What about Robbie E and Robbie T? Just throw them in there just to show that they have tag teams. A couple of teams in the league, 4-way match.
Yeah, that's also good.
Cash Gunner, Robbie E, Robbie T. Big guy, little guy is always a nice mix for tag teams.
Okay, so Steve, on the Facebook group, and we're running a bit long here, but on the Facebook group, you posted a question. If you were told that Chavo Guerrero had to hold one of the titles, which one would it be? Tag team title with Hernandez or the TV championship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really wanted to know, which direction would you want Chavo to go in, either in singles competition or tag team competition?
All right, well, after everything that we have said tonight, what's your thoughts? Like, what would you rather see?
My thoughts. I would want him to get the TV, the TV title. Because, see, he needs to, shine. He is the Guerrero. Put that focus on it so maybe it'll get more of the, Hispanic viewers, raise ratings. They put all that into consideration. And, yeah, I would want him to go in the singles run. Definitely TV, not world title. I'm sorry. I still don't see Chavo, maybe because WWE buried him so much that I don't see him as a world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, they're definitely alluding to that idea that, he wants to face the best. He wants to be in that world title picture, but it's way too soon. If they push Chavo into that spot, then they're running the same cycle that, we criticize them heavily for, which is pushing former WWE guys, to the top right away. So the live chat is mixed. Some are saying tag, some are saying TV. After talking tonight about the whole tag team title situation, I would much rather see them, at least immediately be in that tag team title race. I think there's a lot of talent that they can push in the TV championship, like all of the, the people not going for the X Division title, even throwing EY back in there. I think there's a lot more singles wrestlers that I would push into that direction first.
Yeah, maybe like Gunner.
Yeah, put Gunner with the title, with the TV title again. His feud with EY, I thought was fantastic. That was when they were really trying to build Gunner up as a future main eventer, and since he dropped that title, he hasn't been used in that capacity. So
I've been wondering, where's Crimson? Where's that guy?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm completely satisfied that Crimson is not on my TV.
He's kind of boring.
All right, so there was another question posted on the Facebook. This one was by Chris D. He said, Jeff Jarrett will come back and save TNA. JJ is not part of Aces and Eights, so how about it? How accurate do you think that statement is, Steve? Do you think Jarrett is going to come back to save TNA? Or do you think it's the opposite? Do you think he's leading Aces and Eights like everyone has been?
Yeah. When he said that, it kind of caught me off by surprise because I never thought of that. I always think Jeff Jarrett is a bad guy. So they might do it to swerve the dirt sheets because, they know a lot. They want to keep everything fresh. That's what TNA's MO is about. I think it could be possible. Say Kurt Angle leaves, and then now it's Jeff Jarrett's time. I don't think, it could be a possibility, of course.
Yeah, it would definitely bring a different feel to Jeff Jarrett. I mean, for as long as I could remember, Jarrett has been like the major heel of TNA. And so if they bring him back to save TNA, I'm not sure how the crowd would react. I don't know how I would react. Just because I don't like Jeff Jarrett. But it would be interesting. It would be an interesting twist, and for sure, we are a month and a half away from Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is the Hall of Fame inductions, and for Jeff Jarrett to come back as a major face, that that makes it more possible or more acceptable for him to be inducted this year.
This year? I was wondering if it was just going to be Sting this year or if they were going to add more people. But to have Jeff Jarrett, get inducted and still wrestle, I guess Sting does too, but yeah, I'm not sure. I would like it if the first year was just one person.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with Sting, with a name like Sting and how great he is, the icon. It would be like, a tip of the hat to Sting, like, thank you, the ultimate thank you. Like, you are the first guy, it's only you this year. Next year they'll do 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
maybe.
And that's really one of the major conflicts, at the same time, TNA is so young that a lot of the people that were there in the beginning are still there and they're still active. So you have a Jeff Jarrett who hasn't been on TV in a while. You bring him back as a major face, and then you have like an eligibility there. The same thing with AJ Styles. They finally dropped the whole Claire thing. Now they can, give him a stronger light, make him look more like the good guy that we remember AJ Styles being. And now I think he's more acceptable as, a Hall of Fame induction. But I do think that they are going to induct a few more people. I don't know how many. Obviously they haven't announced anyone else. Sting is the feature.
Yeah.
But live chat's also throwing out names like Shamrock. As the first champion. Obviously that would be an excellent name to bring in. However, if you've read the news, he's kind of in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, I read something about it. He got arrested for something. I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, definitely bad timing to definitely bad timing.
It could have happened.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. But I definitely agree. I like Shamrock in there. So, all right. Well, I really didn't have anything else, but let's turn that question out to you guys in the live chat. We're gonna take it back to the Facebook group and see who actually thinks that Jeff Jarrett could come back as the savior of TNA. I just have a hard time seeing it. I would like to. It's a nice twist, but I don't see it. So.
And to respond to Kyler Bryant, I think that if Kurt Angle is out of the picture, TNA will allow Jeff Jarrett to come back. Somehow they'll explain it like that. But yeah. Jeff Jarrett being a face, I guess that's the best possible way to go with him because, oh man, when he gets on the mic, he's on there for like 20 minutes and he's so boring and like he reeks of 1990s promos. You know, they're like generic and I don't know. I was done with him. But you know,
outside the ring, obviously Jeff Jarrett is still, you know, the owner or part owner or whatever his relationship is with the company. I don't think they ever wrote that off. I think they just said, you know, he couldn't return in ring. So maybe this is his way to get back in the ring. I could see that too.
I'm a manager.
Yeah, so.
One thing I want to say, that guy in Aces and Eights at the end segment, he pointed, one of the guys to go into the ring. That guy, I swear, is D'Lo Brown. He looks just like him with the mask and everything.
Thank you. I wanted to bring that up. There was a few things being said in the live chat a little bit early on. One was the guy who hit Austin Aries. Someone I can't recall who it was. Someone said that it kind of looked like Gunner. I don't think so. It was a little darker hair, kind of skinnier build, taller.
Yeah, it wasn't Gunner.
I didn't see Gunner out there though, so that's a possibility. But it seems odd because Gunner was involved in the whole fight last week. So I doubt that's the case, but it's a possibility. And yes, that the main guy from Aces and Eights tonight looked like D'Lo Brown. He had the skin tight mask, and it definitely showed. His
build.
He was bald. The build, yeah. Everything to me pointed out D'Lo Brown. That was the first thought I had. I posted it on Twitter and Facebook and the Facebook group. Yeah, definitely.
Which has me thinking, this is my theory, which they could go with. You know, they're all wearing Prospect on their jackets. So this might be intertwined with Al Snow and Gutcheck. Maybe D'Lo's mad that he wasn't a judge. Like, I can do this too. And, some food for thought.
Yeah, that's a good theory. Yeah, I could see that, but again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they would work that out, just because there's been so few gut check people in there. But it was definitely D'Lo. But what we don't know is if D'Lo is actually a part of it, actually leading this thing, or if he was just filling in. Because you look at previous weeks, and it's definitely been a white guy as the main voice. I don't think we have seen any black guys. They've all been white. They've all been definite white guys. So seeing him completely covered and everything, it was almost as if they just needed to fill in for the night.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. We did not get any calls again tonight. Little disappointed in you guys, but I did hear from Kyler Bryant. He said he's going to call next week.
Oh, that's cool, man. Just shoot the shit. Just talk.
I will hold you to that, Kyler. And that's pretty much the show. Overall, I think we can agree that Impact was pretty damn good. I thought it built up everything really well. I'm now really looking forward to No Surrender, but I think that's partially because of how we just built it up here with that tag team championship situation.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of opportunities to do some great things. So I'm definitely looking forward to it too. So, anyways, that's a show next week, Thursday, directly after Impact. The guys from FTW Harrison, Joe, Rob, and I think Lee, they're going to come on and basically build up No Surrender, talk about Impact. Not as in-depth on Impact. It's mostly going to be a No Surrender show. Steve and myself might be there. We'll have to figure things out.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. But otherwise, I want to thank everyone. Again, this is the official podcast of Facebook.com/groups/TNA, where the big boys play. That's a fantastic TNA-friendly group. One of the only groups on Facebook for TNA fans, made by TNA fans. This is one of the only podcasts that are for TNA fans, made by TNA fans. So, again, want to thank everyone in the live chat. You were fantastic. And this will be posted on YouTube if you missed any of it tomorrow morning. It'll also be posted on the Facebook group itself. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. And, yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Have a good night, guys.
All right. We will see you later, and thanks again.